I love your character so much from this film. She started off with no longer doing field work when Mac approaches her, but what drew her back in to coming back?
Khadijah is someone who really does care about the world, and when Mace approaches her with the reason why she needs her, it's very clear that there's a role she can play, a larger role she can play in making the world a safer place. And so I think she chooses that, over her personal
Well,
reasons.
well, well, your character is happily in love in the film, which is amazing to see, but things do happen. And I wonder if there's any regret or resentment towards Mason in terms of the life and in terms of the life she chose to go into.
I mean, I feel like I'm a little nervous answering these questions because it's asking me to give you insight into the inner workings of the character. I'm actually more curious to know what you think.
I mean, I was heartbroken, and I really love your character so much and how tough and amazing she is. And I just was angry at Mason the whole time for your character's sake.
Yeah,
But
I
I
love
just,
that.
yeah, I was getting mad for on your behalf towards her,
Yeah.
and but that's the thing where I've always said this: whenever you cry, whenever Lupita cries, I cry. In every film, I cry. And there's a scene where your character breaks down and has to hold it in together, which I understood. But my worry is that it reinforces the idea that Black women and women of color must always have it together. Like we have to be the strong Black woman, the strong Asian woman, the strong woman, and cannot be emotionally compromised. Do you feel like that moment reinforces that we are put into this position as Black and women of color that we have to keep it together?
Well, first of all, I don't want to spoil this movie for your
Yeah, of course.
audience. So your question is a little leading in that direction. But I will say that there's the macrochism of a situation and then there's the microchism. And if you look at this story and what the stakes are within this story and what's going on, for me, it makes a lot of sense. But it can obviously lend itself to a larger narrative, one that I cannot participate in at this moment because it is not where my head is
Sure.
at. So I cannot refute your claim. But for me, I think that there are moments in a woman's life where you do need to hold it together, where you
Mhm.
have no choice to hold it together, and and that is something to admire. When, as much as it is not the only story that we should tell for women of any demographic, I definitely think that there is room for other reactions, other responses. But this one I felt was particularly justified given the situation.
No, of course. And of course, I cried when you cry. So every time. But, the action sequences are really cool. And you've done so many cool action sequences in your previous work with Black Panther and Little Monsters. And I know stunt people were used, but you must also go through rigorous training to prepare as well. How did you prepare for such a role that's physically demanding and still find the emotional depth for the character while fighting?
Well, I think that's the thing, the trick to, for me, when it comes to physical training and stunt work, is that I always try and root it in the character and what the character wants. There's different tactics to get what you're going for. You can use language, you can use emotion, and you can use your physical being as well. It's just another way to get what you want. So when it comes to stunts and stuff, I really go from what it is that this person wants. And we had the opportunity with this film to work very closely with the stunt department, with the stunt team, to create the lexicon of our characters' physical engagement. So it never felt like a betrayal of character, it was just an extension of character. And that's my favorite way to work.
Yeah. Well, I love asking actors who play tech whizzes in the film because your character is best in her field in cybersecurity. How are you personally with technology?
Not good. Not good. No, I'm not the one you want to call if you're having a technical problem, I am the one who will be the first person to call tech services at a hotel. They know my name because I am calling to help turn on the TV and connect it to my laptop and screen mirroring and all that. Oh my God. So yeah, no. And the language, actually, that was even tougher than the physical things that I had to do in this film. It was like Khadijah's tech language was very, very hard to wrap my head around.
No, well, thank you so much. It was such a lovely, like, it's such a pleasure talking to you. And I can't wait for everyone to see how badass your character is.
Thank you.
Lectures, fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The Hard Knock Life. Comics